Namaste and good morning. Thank you, Runip, for cutting a bit of time. I was thinking of asking a bit more time to speak instead. But again, first and foremost, may I extend my sincere appreciation to the Ministry of Tourism of India, the Pata India chapter, the India Sharma Foundation, and all the partners that we have here for hosting the fourth Pata India Powerhouse. Thank you for the trust, the leadership, the friendship. And I think this is my first trip of the year. And coming back to India, I think this is just a fantastic opportunity. I prepared a big presentation here, but then I think most of the things really taken out of my mouth by Dr. Suman Bila. So, I don't have much more to say, but I just want to also mention a couple of people that I think is very important in the room. Dr. Suman, it's good to see you back here. Your leadership is very important for all of us, especially for Pata. Of course, Arjun Sharma, on behalf of his late father, who has been not only a shining light for Pata, our life member, past chairman, Mr. MP Besbarua, also the former secretary of MOT and former chairman of Pata. Of course, Vikram, the honorary vice chair of Pata India chapter, Sanjit, honorary secretary, Jatinder, honorary treasurer, and Runip for cutting my time. I just want to make a quick shout out to the young people, the youngest people in the room from the Chandigarh University, who is the newest Pata member. Can you stand? Yeah, so those are the students. Mr. Suman was earlier mentioning about the 7 items. Then one of them is the AI and technology. I just want to let you know that actually I came to India using AI. Air India, fantastic service. So before I begin, I would like to ask everyone to do one thing, just like in continuance of what Dr. Suman has mentioned. Please take a moment and answer this in your own mind. So this is the question that I have on the screen, that is India ready to turn tourism demand into a sustainable growth for local businesses and communities? There's no right or wrong answer, just hold that thought as we move forward, okay? So, is India ready to turn tourism demand into sustainable growth for local businesses and communities? So that's question I have, number one. So setting the scene, let me begin with something that's more familiar, especially for me. I think I'm speaking more from outside to all the friends in India, with due respect. When someone says incredible India, what is the first image or the images that comes to your mind? And of course, this is going to be difficult because generally all of you are from here, but you are from outside. What is it? Is it Taj Mahal? Is it the spirituality? Is it the colors, festivals, food, diversity, history? What comes to mind? For me, all of it, fantastic, all of it, absolutely correct. For me, this is the images that reflects India. It's layered, it's surprising, it's chaos, organized chaos, emotional, endless, really rich. To me, this is India. India is not just a destination. India is a collection of experience, often contradict, yet deeply connected. And that is what has always made India incredible. The question is, how do you move out from this incredible India image? I'm just posing that question to you. I don't have the answer. Now let me introduce you to the different phase, because Runip gave me a very tough topic to talk about this mega India, mega growth, and so forth. So when we talk about mega India, when you hear those words, my next question is that what comes to mind? Please pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let the words mega settle in. I think Dr. Suman has mentioned about, you have the scale here, but you have the speed. So on this slide, this is again in my mind. When I talk about mega India, it is the prominent Indian individuals who have made headlines in many, many extraordinary ways in business, space, exploration, sports, leadership, entertainment, and at least these are the people that come to my mind. But when other people start thinking of what India is today, I believe this is what people generally have in their mind. Not just individuals, but India as a whole, especially the India Generation Z. which is about 35 to 40%. I'm sure that you know that. And they are digitally native, they are highly connected, they are very confident consumers, they are purpose-driven yet aspirational, and they're going to fill up all your domestic tourism very quickly. And this is what the world also looking at, the Indian Gen Z, because they are the growing spending power for your outbound. This generation is reshaping not just travel behavior, but also expectation of experience, speed, value, and meaning. So I'm going to play with some numbers a bit this morning. Mega India with numbers. I think, again, I'm just reiterating what Dr. Suman has mentioned a couple of times earlier on. So let us talk about scale, because he did talk about scale earlier. Because scale defines Mega India, I believe that. And without doubt, India's economy will continue to grow exponentially. And in fact, by 2060, India is expected to remain the most populous country in the world. So I'm not sure how you're going to move around by that time. But by being number one population in the world, it's not the end goal. We have to start rethinking about energy, water, air, mobility, and ultimately the quality of life. So according to the IMF, India has already overtaken Japan to become the world's fourth largest economy. And I think just a couple of times that we need to overtake Germany in the near future. Now here is the perspective that I find fascinating. In this slide, I also put in the contribution of tourism to the world economy. And if global tourism industry were treated as an economy, it will rank as the third largest GDP in the world after US and China. So definitely, tourism is not a soft sector. It is a serious economic infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, Asia Pacific is the center of gravity. I'm so happy because we are the association for the Asia Pacific. The growth is reinforced, in fact, by S&P Global projection has shows that by 2040, Asia Pacific region will overtake the West as the primary engine of global growth. Much of this momentum lies within what I call the CIA of growth. So if you've not heard of this term before, you're not wrong because I made it up myself. CIA is China, India, ASEAN. This is the force of the growth for Asia Pacific. The potential here is not incremental, it is a structural and long-term. So now let's just bring the discussion back to travel and tourism after talking about other data. In 2024, I think a few of us has already mentioned, I think Vikram mentioned earlier about the 20 plus million IVAs into India, generating more than 35 billions in tourism receipts, and I'm sure that all of you knows that. But now, since Sparta head office, where I'm based, is based in Bangkok, let us look at Thailand for a friendly comparison. Thailand, I must tell you, had a challenging 2025, whereby the Ministry of Sports and Tourism of Thailand has projected a decline of 7.2%. A decline. Approximately, they are getting only 32 million international visitors for last year, despite their higher ambition. So now let us pause and rethink. Thailand population is about 66 million. Tourists, 32 million. One tourist for every 2 residents. India population, 1.4 billion. You have 20 million tourists. 1.4% penetration. So I ask you, what works better today? Amazing Thailand or incredible India? This is not a criticism. It is a strategic question, if you want to put tourism as your number one. I recently reviewed the Ministry of Tourism of India Tourism Data Compendium 2025. This is part of the document I took, which provide an excellent insight into India's performance. One data point truly struck me is that in this slide it says there are top 5 states for domestic tourism and the top 5 states for international tourism. This is important for you to know where your domestic travelers are going and international tourists are going. The divergence between these two is telling, and it's very, very important. as both the domestic and international markets are vital for our growth, any destination for that matter. Last November, in that relationship, I've attended our own event in Sanya, which is an island called Hainan in China, often referred as the Hawaii of China. This particular island has about 10 million population. In 2024, they had 106 million visits, whereby only 2.3 million are international. So 104 million are all domestic tourists. But here is the striking part. Hainan has over just one island, they have about 250,000 hotel rooms. And 75% of the hotel rooms there are five-star properties. So think about that. This is not accidental growth. It is a planned capacity aligned with a long-term demand. Excellent infrastructure send a signal to travelers, investors, and operators. So now let us turn outward to India outbound travel. In recent years, nearly 40 million outbound trips were made by Indians all over the world. India now is one of the most important source market globally. This make me think, really make me think, because this is my first trip to India in the year. Why do Indians travel overseas? Do you know? Because of this. In my humble opinion, in 1964, Mr. Raj Kapoor produced a movie called Sangam. It's the first Bollywood movie shot in Switzerland, London, and Paris. And thereafter, the many, many movies were shot overseas. This planted a dream. Since then, Europe became aspirational, and now many, many other places too. Destination weddings flourish all over the world. Talking about destination, this morning alone, I spoke to about 5 people already talking about weddings, and some already start having an argument why they're not invited in that 10-day wedding. They only invited 5, so they get upset. So wedding is a big thing. So talking about Indian weddings, the Indian outbound wedding became one of the most sought-after segments globally. Based in Bangkok, I can tell you, we had hard time booking our events because the hotel said, we have booking for Indian weddings. This is what makes India super special. How you keep this Indian wedding at home? It's not going to be easy. So I will leave detail of forecasting to Professor Hayan Song, who will be speaking to you after this. But allow me to highlight one number, just one number. This is the only number that I want you to remember from my whole presentation. That is 761.2 million, 761.2 million arrival forecasted for 2028. It sounds massive into Asia Pacific, okay? It sounds massive, yet it is actually a slightly downward revision from the earlier forecasted that we have done for 2027. The numbers of travelers around the world, especially into Asia Pacific region, going to be slightly down. This is a warning signal. Ladies and gentlemen, mind you, growth is real, but it is not guaranteed. When I asked to deliver this keynote, the keyword was Mega India. So the rightful question is India ready for mega growth in terms of tourism? That is the question. We all know that India today has accelerated infrastructure development, improved connectivity, and transformative payment system like the India Stack, enabling a truly inclusive digital economy. But readiness is not just about assets. It is much more. Consider this. A recent article by Travel Daily News highlighting leading OTAs in the region and their share market. Look at this slide. I'm sorry, it's a bit small here. But at number 1 for the Asia Pacific OTAs is Trip.com, China-based. Agoda, Bangkok-based, Booking.com, Europe, US-based, Traveloka, Indonesian-based. And of course, we have travel tech companies, Make My Trip, Is My Trip. I hope they are in the room. And I'm sure that these companies and many others, travel technology companies in India, will undoubtedly grow. But the question is, I want you to consider is that, are local tour operators and local DMC in India adapting fast enough? Scale alone is not sufficient. You need the speed. SMEs and micro SMEs are digitally enabled. What the government are doing about that? Or is the value increasing captured by international platform? Because a lot of booking that's being done, the revenue will not come here, but it will go overseas, because all is done through the international platform. These challenges are not faced just by India, but a lot of destinations around the world. So what is the guardrail for our industry? So I just want to go a bit on the negative side of the tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many risks confronting the tourism industry today, but a few are so persuasive and consequential, especially the geopolitical instability. These are not man-made disputes, but global time bombs in a world without a single authority to maintain peace. The world has no peace and order at this point of time. Just a couple of days ago, Professor Jeffrey Sachs warned the UN Security Council by saying anarchy leads to tragedy. When cooperation breaks down, conflicts can escalate quickly, disrupting travel, closing borders, and undermining confidence and trust, especially neighboring countries. We have seen that Thailand and Cambodia. So now they are depending on the influx of the Malaysian travelers into Thailand. And this will happen even more so in the coming years. Tourism depends on safety and stability, and often is the first sector to suffer because of the geopolitical issues. Let me put this simply. India has extraordinary depth and diversity in tourism assets, from culture and heritage to nature, wellness, living traditions, you name it. Infrastructure and connectivity are improving rapidly. This has already mentioned a few times, making travel easier and more accessible. Globally, travelers are looking for authenticity, meaningful experiences, exactly what India offers incredibly and naturally. With the right policies, strong international promotion, destination management, this strength can drive sustained high-value tourism growth for India. And as always, PATA stands ready to support India in this journey in unlocking this full potential. In closing, I humbly offer you 6 ingredients for a great Indian dish. My key takeaways for India's tourism future would depend on access and connectivity, which you have to do a lot more, capacity and cleanliness, authenticity and storytelling, digital enablement for local businesses, policy consistency and investment friendliness, community-centric growth. India, ladies and gentlemen, is a destination that the world recognizes. What is less understood, however, is the depth, the nuance, and the meaning behind this recognition. That is where India's next chapter lies. The opportunity now is to clearly define and articulate India's cultural soft power, what India represents, inspires, and contributes to the world beyond its geography. All said and done, let me end with one final question for you to ponder. What role you will play in shaping India's next phase of mega tourism growth? The answer is truly in your hands, ladies and gentlemen, because you are the experts of this incredible destination. On that note, I would like to warmly invite you, this is a quick infomercial, to join us at our PATA Annual Summit from 11 to the 13th, hosted for the first time in 2 cities, Gyeongju and Pohang, South Korea, where connections are made, knowledge shared is abundant, while celebrating our 75th anniversary. India has long been a supporter and a friend to PATA. And if you are not yet a PATA member, perhaps this could be your perfect New Year resolution. Namaste and thank you.